Orale, Cholo Trucker here, M.A.S movies and shows, and another show you can binge watch. Sort of. I'm doing this one in a little bit of protest, man. I am the sucker that watched every single episode of this series. Yes, I'm the one that tortured myself like that. So I'm gonna do this, another show you can binge watch with The Walking Dead, a little bit with protest, but we'll get to that in a few. Let's go ahead and get into the description. So let's see. A comic book based series written by Robert Kirkman, this gritty drama portrays life in the months and years that follow a zombie apocalypse. A group of survivors travel in search of safety and security, constantly on the move in search of a secure home. But the pressure each day to stay alive sends many of the group to the desperate depths of human cruelty, and they soon discover that the overwhelming fear of the survivors can be more deadly than the zombies walking among them. At times, the interpersonal conflicts present a greater threat to their continual survival than the walkers that roam the country. Okay, um, let's go ahead and let's get into that because this is one of the one things that I really loved about the show. Okay. When this show first came out, I was not on board. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved it. I was like, holy smokes, man, is the show really that good? Because everybody's talking about it. I couldn't get away from it. The show ran for 11 seasons from 2010 to 2022. The last episode was on November 20th, 2022. Um, and I jumped on, I believe, somewhere around season number 5 or somewhere around there. I remember somebody was telling me like, "Oh man, you know what? You gotta watch it. It's such a great show," and everybody was on board. Everybody I knew was talking about The Walking Dead, and it didn't pique my interest whatsoever at all. I'm like, zombies, I'm good. But this person convinced me, and they're like, hey, AMC is doing the marathon. I think for like heck, like a for I don't know, it was quite a few years back. AMC was having this Walking Dead marathon, I think all weekend long. So I'm like, you know what? At that time I was single. So I went ahead and I recorded it on my DVR all the way through. So whenever I had time, I would go ahead and watch it. And yeah, it was pretty good, man. I did actually like it. And I'm like, okay, I'm all the way in now. And that was probably like 5 seasons or the 6th season. I'm not even really sure. So I'm like, cool, Friedman, dog. I did like the show. I did appreciate the show. Um, what I did notice about the show is that while there aren't zombies, or as they would call them, walkers, if you guys don't know, they never referred to them as zombies on the show. I'm sorry, while it did have zombies, it wasn't really about zombies. I know it's kind of hard to believe. It's like, well, wait a second. It's called The Walking Dead, and clearly there's zombies. Yeah, yeah, I get it, but that's really not what the show was about. The show was really more, at least to me, more about survival, more about when everything goes to the gutter, man. There is no government, there's no police, there's no firefighters, there's no society as one knows it. It's just everybody fend for yourselves. There's no grocery stores, there is no money, currency doesn't matter, none of that matters, right? If you have a problem, if you have an issue, there is no calling anybody. There's none of that. Society as you know it is gone. And that's what really interests me in the show. I'm like, okay, all right, you're taking it way back in the day, right? Where it's like, look, you could build your own house if you'd like, but you got to defend that house. And any problem, any issue is really just on you. You now need to, build alliances and, build the right relationships so you can have some sort of peace. But peace is really never a thing, man. I mean, there's dangers lurking all the way around. There is no military. There is no any of that. It's just you on your own. What's to eat? Well, whatever you find to eat or make to eat or, kill, hunt, whatever it may be. That's one thing that I really appreciated about the show, and how, you know, people build different tribes, old school tribalistic days, and whoever had the most personnel, the most soldiers, the most weapons, everything like that, basically, man, there would be the ones that would win. You would have to be strategic and have to come up with a better plan. It's really what I really truly appreciated about the show. The show itself, when I heard it, The Walking Dead, and I heard zombies, it really turned me off. I'm like, no way in heck, homie, do I want to watch a show about zombies. But I soon realized that, hey, that's not really what the show is about. I would say this: I love hate this show. Okay. Now, is it worth binge watching? Um, yes, but maybe not all the way through. You might want to go ahead and stop watching it probably once Rick is gone, which is the main character of the show. Once he's gone, the show kind of takes a little bit of a dive. Now, there are so many more spin-offs. All right. You got the Fear the Walking Dead. You got, you know, uh, Fear the Walking Dead in the water. You got the new ones like Dead City and all these other ones. What was that dude? Daryl Dixon went off to have a spin-off. I'm telling you guys right now, I am not watching those shows. Okay. I am not watching those shows. The way this one ended, it just wasn't good enough for me. And not only was it not good enough for me, it was actually a bad ending. A bad ending for a good show that lasted too long, which now downgrades it to just an okay show. See, it was a good show. It really was. I know some people are going to disagree. That's fine. But it actually was a really good show, but because they continued it with so many seasons, I mean, 11 seasons, because they kept it going, now it's just, in my opinion, just an okay show. It's just an all right show. Had you ended it in, I don't know, season 7, I don't even know what season that is, but look, man, that's the problem with some of these shows, okay? Some of these other shows, or let me go ahead and say this. Some of these other shows are just around for 5 seasons, 6 seasons, and people get upset. They're like, oh man, come on, man. I don't want the show to end. But at the same time, you don't want it to turn into what The Walking Dead turned into. The Walking Dead continued way, way, way too long, and it didn't need to. Now, I do like the characters, Daryl Dixon and Rick Grimes and Carol and Maggie. Look, when Negan came in, I'll tell you guys that much, man. When Negan came in, it was like a spark. I don't remember what season he came in. It was a little bit later on. And it was a breath of fresh air. It was like, okay, orale, homie. Now the show is a little bit better now. But all that being said, it still lasted way too dang long. So is it another show you can binge watch? Yes, it is. But it lasts too long. So if you're gonna binge watch it, be warned. It starts off good. It starts off great in my opinion. But because it just keeps on going on and on and on and on, um, it loses it. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you guys this before I end it. Most people that I knew that were telling me how much they loved the show and were trying to get me to watch this show didn't end up didn't finish watching it. It was crazy on how many people I had telling me, you got to watch it, you got to watch it, you got to watch it. And then finally, when I caught on, I believe, honestly, that I'm the only one that finished watching it. Everybody else fell off. I mean, what a debacle, man. What a debacle. Great show. And just because you kept it going, it ruined it. But anyway, that's my thoughts, man, on The Walking Dead. Again, I'm not watching all the other ones. I did watch Fear the Walking Dead, which was pretty cool. I'll get to that on another one. But there you guys have it, man. The Walking Dead, another show you can binge watch, sort of. Sort of. Cholo Trucker, Moss Movies and Shows. I'll catch you guys on the next one.